I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Today I want to talk to you fence sitters.
It starts with an M and it ends with not ER.
Motherfucker! The undecided voter who still can't figure out the difference between a scumbag, rapist, bankrupt failure, obese, authoritarian creep, and an accomplished, multiple times elected prosecutor, attorney general, senator, and vice president. A person Katie Porter said cannot be bought. And yet you can't seem to make a decision between her and a dude that can only be bought. Let me help you with your decision. Think of me like helping a person with a brain injury learn to stop crapping their pants in public. Because if you can't make a decision between Trump and Harris, you're one of the dumbest people currently in the country. You are the poorly educated Trump loves to bend over.
I love the poorly educated.
He loves us. He made fun of us in the same sentence. I think he did. I ain't sure. I'm poorly educated.
Let's go down the list. Harris has been in government for 20 years. In that time, she has zero scandal. In fact, in those 20 years, she got homeowners billions after the mortgage crisis and the banks tried to screw everybody. She put criminals away. She cleared up old cold murder cases and even put parents in jail when their kids didn't go to school. As a senator, she tore up the liars and the douchebags who tried to end our democracy on January 6th.
I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
She is a badass, an accomplished badass. But she's a black woman.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
You need to look at yourself and see what you're really deciding on. Now let's look at her opponent. You ready for the barrage of cluster Trump fuck-ups? And again, this is a partial list. And how the fuck are you still considering this hump? You can't decide? Oh, please. The choice is between a shit sandwich and macaroni and cheese. Here's why you can't vote for Trump. He can't run a charity because he stole from kids with cancer. He said he wants to date his daughter. Yeah, he said it out loud. That was his answer.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
His family got $2 billion from the Saudis after he tanked America's economy. Farmers bankrupt, stock market dropped, and millions got burned. Ran up $7 trillion in debt in one fucking term. He's a rapist. He's a tax cheat. He wears lifts on his feet.
Let me get my shoes.
He golfed 300 days, and his wife thinks he's a creep. 100 generals and admirals said he will end democracy. He's a traitor. And I can't say it, but to me, he's see you next Tuesday. January 6th, you watched it on TV.
Time of the century. We are going to steal.
Still undecided? Yeah, I can see how you'd be. You're probably chewing on your toenails that are on your vinegar feet. Here's some more of his fails. Stole top secret classified documents and sent him his emails. He tried to kill his first vice president, charged the government triple to stay in his bedbug-filled residence, called allies shithole countries, took kids from their families, put concentration camps on the border, took women's rights by killing abortion.
I got rid of Roe v. Wade. I got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Owes his rape victim $80 million, owes $250 million in taxes and fines, 6 bankruptcies. He's the biggest failure of all fucking time. He bankrupt 4 casinos, failed at selling steaks, water, vodka. That's food, water, and alcohol. How big of a fuck up is he? Because this still isn't all. Here's some more. And again, this is a partial list. Damn, I'm pissed. Called soldiers suckers and losers. He mocked the disabled, turned soldiers on protesters, 33,000 lives. Shit he says is so baseless. So we can also say he's a truth rapist. Has zero experience in government. Said he'd cure COVID by injecting disinfectant.
Disinfectant. Disinfectant. And is there a way we can do something like that?
Or a powerful light. I'm sorry, what the fuck? Did I hear that right?
Powerful light. Powerful light.
And you can't decide.
Hit the body.
He gave 3 U.S. bases to the Russians, offered Putin a $50 million penthouse. Since '87, he worked with Putin, and you can't make up your mind about him? 150 historians rate him the worst president in history. He negotiated with Taliban terrorists, and you're still undecided? Your fucking ignorance is a mystery. And again, this is a partial list. And I'm sorry if you feel dissed, but 20 admirals and generals said Trump screwed up the Afghanistan withdrawal. 13 Marines died, but that ain't all. He wants books banned. He didn't do anything he said, and you're still a Trump stan? No healthcare, no infrastructure, 4 million jobs lost. Said COVID was a hoax, 400,000 excess deaths on COVID because of his stupidity. Said it would go away like a miracle. It didn't. He's an idiot, isn't he? Mexico didn't pay for the wall. Wall didn't get built. Then stunning his pedo buddy got killed. He used a Sharpie on a hurricane map. What the fuck? He's best friends with Epstein the Beast. Trump's on Epstein's jet 7 times at least. Sued for raping a 13-year-old. Trump's our country's head pedo.
Perhaps I'd be dating
Won't
her.
release his school records, not even a little bit. Won't release his tax records, not even a little bit. Hates immigrants. His mom is an immigrant. Holy shit. Central Park 5, he wanted them dead. But they were innocent. Indicted by the Nixon administration. He failed airlines, failed sports teams, gave billionaires and corporations billion in tax breaks. But he said you got him too. But look at your check. Yeah, you know that's fake. Said he'd be a dictator on day one. Said he'd jail reporters just for fun. Muslim ban. Said election was rigged, but 62 court cases and cyber ninjas proved it wasn't repeatedly. Tried to scam 11,780 votes in Georgia. You heard him say it, or fucking should I play it for you?
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Put a guy who owned coal mines in charge of the environment. And then he said he wants to end the education department. Fuck! He hired losers and criminals. A crew of Satan's minimals. These traitors are still around. Most did jail time. Bannon is still in lockdown. And he got impeached again. He sent a crew to Ukraine to get dirt on Biden. And after 3 years, couldn't find a speck of dust on him. Trump is arguably the biggest loser, failure, criminal, rapist, con man, hateful, evil, ignorant, obese, dumb dipshit we have ever had as president. And you're still undecided? Are you stupid? And that's a rhetorical question. Jesus Christ. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Damn! I don't understand how people have seen for 8 years what a total illiterate, fat, evil con and fuck up this guy is, and they're still like, I don't know about this black lady. I wonder how she's gonna do it. She's a badass. Fuck this guy. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus, Titus Podcast. To you undecided voters, may I say, how are you undecided? Thank you. Sorry, Ken. How are you decided at this point? With me as always, by the way, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
That can be the only one.
We actually take our insults from a 6-month-old. That's who we're learning from. Seamus is his name.
Seamus is, yeah.
That's who you're idea.
He came home last night and he just sees him. First, always wants to touch his face and wonder because I think it's like
it's a giant.
It's like
it's a
Mount Rushmore. He always is.
It's
like
a Macy's Day Fellow. He's this big. He's like, my God.
And then he stops for a second, looks at him, and goes. He just knows that's how we communicate.
No, ask him questions about politics, and then we'll just cut to him reacting.
I wish you
I was just like, what do you think of Trump's rally last night?
So there was a big thing on TV today, and we were watching Katie Tur. Katie Tur is the worst. Let me just say,
Katie Tur is.
We have never seen. I've never seen such a bullshit journalist, and you know, but everybody else is soft pedaling it. Why don't they call this dickhead out for what he is? Like let's take personality aside. Let's take that he's a rapist, that he hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, that was his best friend, that he's a racist. Let's take out that he hates our soldiers, suckers and losers. Let's say that he's basically a transactional president. That if you give him money, he'll do something for you. What? Am I making noises? I'm making too many weird noises. I'm fired up.
About to throw
I've got
up.
gas in me right now that's trying to come out.
You're taking in air so fast.
I'm just angry. I'm angry because we have the journalists currently right now are full of shit.
Yes,
they are actually treating him like he is a normal person. They are treating him like he's like it's Romney and John Kerry. It's fucking not.
Yeah.
It's a psychopath fuck who actually wants to date his daughter. And let's just go to his numbers. Let's take the personality. Let's take what a scumbag loser demon he is. And let's just talk about his numbers. We were losing manufacturing jobs well before COVID started. Everybody kind of blames everything that his fuck ups on COVID, but it wasn't. He was losing jobs. Farmers were bankrupt. The suicide rate in farmers because of what he did with the Chinese tariffs and that deal, suicide skyrocketed. 24% bankruptcies. It went up 24% for farmers. We lost billions and billions and billions of dollars. Biden, on the other hand, stopped the tariffs and brought it back. On top of that, this fucking asshole, and it was all because of tariffs. people don't even know this. People are so stupid about the economy and about the past. Do you guys know Smoot-Hawley tariffs in 1930? I think it was 36 or 34, maybe 37. Was part of the reason that the entire, not 27, or the entire reason the fucking depression happened, because we put tariffs on all goods. Then basically, tariffs don't charge China. They don't charge Japan. Tariffs charge the American people. $1,000 washer now costs $1,200 with a 20% tariff. And guess where that money goes to? The government. So that's what Trump's doing. He's trying to pay for his tax cuts for billionaires by making you pay more for a washer, dryer, and a car. If he puts a 20% tariff on any fucking Toyota, on any fucking Honda that gets imported, you're going to pay 20% more for a car, and that money goes to the government to pay for tax cuts for billionaires. That's what he's doing. Ya douchebags.
Let me interject with this one here. This was going to be my
I'm kind of
this time
today. I'm sorry.
Oh,
but
we're going to do it. And now
let
the
me do
fun
one
fact
now.
early.
There's plenty of
Just so you
Trump
know, we're
shit.
40 something days away from either ending this country or trying to save it.
So all this talk about
What just happened? What'd you just do?
He let me get it out, and then he I just spent 2 hours having my boob tissues smashed in between various clutching devices.
Not
and
me. It wasn't me.
My favorite is when the woman says,
It was not. No, this is a medical procedure.
Device.
This was not me just her getting her husband to get off her. This was actually a medical procedure.
Yeah, so my stress level is extra right now. My favorite is when the woman says, but does that one hurt? And I said, yes. And she goes, okay, well, say when.
They got the vice.
Crank. Because the pictures are better if it's flat. Now, because you have breast implants, I need to separate the implant from your breast tissue on the plate and do that. Yeah. And then crank.
that hurts in my smaller breasts.
So my dulcet
downstairs.
tones are bringing you down, is what you're saying. I'm calming you
You
down.
have smaller breasts.
What just happened?
He tried to make a funny ball reference, I think, but it ended up not being a super flattering picture.
Well, it's not as medical. With men, they go, if you have ball cancer, they just kick you in the nuts really hard, and they go, does that hurt worse than normal? And you go, yes. And they
Can
go,
I ask you, do you feel like you have smaller breasts downstairs?
No, I didn't know that. That's but I actually literally went to a place where I'm like, I went to a what the fuck place because I don't know what he's talking about.
And you guys wonder why we can't get him a date.
He's got a thin.
He's like, hey, lady, want to check out my tiny boobs
Highlander has
there?
a thin thread thing, and sometimes it's so funny you can't stand it. And sometimes you're like, what?
I saw him realize it though because he faltered. He goes, my smaller breasts.
He felt the room.
Downstairs. He felt the room.
He felt the room. Was like, that was a mistake.
Do you guys do men have to go get your balls on a plate and then they crank the thing tight to test for cancer? Is that a thing for guys?
Hope so. Our balls on a plate.
we hire help
Not
for
a
that.
dinner plate, you idiots. Like a medical plate.
I don't think. No. Only women get their boobs smushed to get X-rays of them. It's crazy.
Why wouldn't you put balls on that and then?
Because they're hard. They're not just fleshy, squishy.
They're not squishy. They will splat.
There's literally a pistachio in there or something. There's something.
That's why they're
in
called
there.
nuts.
Yeah, that's why they're called nuts because there's an almond.
Your balls are not hard.
They're. If you next time we get a shot. Next time I get an examination from you, check them out.
Well, I know
as you age, they get harder.
Can we please stop talking? What are we doing? So back to the economy. So go ahead, give me your phone thing. What are we doing today? What just happened? You guys are like, I'm so cranked. You guys are like, how do we divert him? He needs to stop. Okay, go ahead.
I have a lot of questions about this conversation for later.
All right. Everybody's always bitching about, it was better but when Trump was in office, and we do this, where were
you're
you?
going
4 years ago?
Stats. You got the stats.
Yeah, but it's related. On this day in 2019, the U.S. income inequality hit a new record level.
So let's say, so that means under Trump, before COVID, rich people were so much richer than poor people. So he basically changed the income gap.
Yes. And the top income earners got even larger increases in their income. And one of the reasons for that is the Trump tax cut.
Yep.
So
that's what he's doing with tariffs, though. He keeps talking about we're going to make so much money. He keeps saying it, and he's going to continue his Trump tax cuts. With people go, my taxes went up last year. Yeah, because we're currently, it hasn't been changed yet. The House will not let the Democrats vote on. We can't vote on changing Trump's tax cuts. We can't kill him. Yep. They filibustered it. That's what Biden's pissed about. So what's happened is the Trump tax cuts have stayed in place. So corporations year after year after year after year are still raking in the bucks. And the people that made under $200,000, their taxes keep going up.
Yes.
They keep going up to 27.
Back to so for the news, they're supposed to be sort of like a checks and balances.
And they're not.
They are supposed to bring a specialist on, an economist on or whatever, and say, no,
they don't.
Trump is wrong, and he's always constantly wrong, and they should just be attacking him all the time.
They're bringing up funny writers. They're bringing up these erudite. We saw your piece in the New Yorker. It was amazing. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? That's not news. What do you Miss Cleo? What the fuck are you making predictions?
That's an old. Hey man, that's an old reference.
You got it though.
Oh yeah, I used to have no cable and come home from the club at 2 a.m. when she would play.
But what's the point if you're asking people their opinion? Like when I see Sue and I see what's his name?
Andrew Weissman.
When I see Andrew Weissman, I'm like, all right, this guy's he was part of the Mueller team.
Lisa Rubin.
He's an expert. There's some people that are experts that I go, okay. And then you got these douchebags on, or a rapper. Thanks, Ari Melbourne. I go, what? This is not the fucking news. What are you guys doing?
The other thing
they
is,
make us look bad.
They really do.
During the debate, when they fact checked him, they didn't really fact check him. First of all, he fucking lied like the entire time he lied, so it's impossible. They just crazy checked him. The fucking insane shit.
Yeah, they did crazy shit. No one. The guy said no one's eating pets. He's like, he kept interrupting me. You said people were eating dogs and cats.
We checked with everybody in the world. That's not true.
If Grandpa said that, we would have actually called a medical professional to evaluate him. Yes. You douchebag. He also said the other crazy shit he said. He kept crime. Can you bring up crime stats? It was reported yesterday. Our friend Texas Paul.
Lowest of all time, right?
Lowest.
Not of
lowest
all time.
in like the last 30 years. Yes, lowest. Violent crime has dropped 12%. Murders have dropped. Even normal crime dropped 3%. Like its crime is down. And I want to point this out. If immigration is a problem and the immigrants are causing all this crime, how is crime dropping?
Right.
Wouldn't you think there'd be more crime after we have these immigrants? Yep. But that's not happening. And to everybody who keeps talking about this immigrant shit, we were designed as a nation of immigrants. The entire plan, everybody who's here, if you look like this, unless your name is whatever your name is, if it's that, then you are no, we're leaving that. But if you look like this, or you came from another country at any time, you're an immigrant. Your family's an immigrant. And I love that these people that were here and their entire families are immigrants and they're still bitching about immigrants. Motherfucker, just because you were here earlier, you don't get to change the rules of America. You don't get to change them. Oh, because you were here first, so you get to change the rules? No, well, my family, I say this on my new show. I was here, my family was here 400 years ago. So if that's the rule, then you need to get the fuck out of my country because it's my country.
I feel like other people made better use of their time that came later, though.
I agree.
The Tituses.
There was the Tituses did. We did nothing. I'm doing a new bit about we didn't own slaves, and not because we didn't want slaves, but because we couldn't afford slaves. But there was and also we didn't own a farm, so we didn't really need slaves. But at one point they were like, we got to catch up with these guys. Guys, we don't have enough. Let's pitch in on a slave. Can we pitch in on a slave? We're all kicking a little bit. We can't get a real slave, but maybe we can get a disabled slave. Maybe like one with like a little person with one arm. And then we didn't have any work to do, so we basically paid for a guy to hang out with.
What do we think?
Just put him in the wheelbarrow. Just put him in and push him around.
Practices right now.
I'm just saying that the Tituses, we were such losers. But we did never own slaves. Actually, in Missouri, one of my relatives in Missouri fought for the North, so we're good.
I told you guys.
We didn't want
my
slaves.
Relatives did, and my great grandmother would whisper his name after
she was
going
upset.
into the back bedroom and shutting the door. It was like a thing, I guess, in the South. But yeah, he left to go fight
for the North
because most people knew, even though a lot of people now argue, that it was about owning slaves.
And your family was embarrassed.
My family did not own slaves.
They were embarrassed that you fought for the North.
I think in certain parts of the South that was considered turning on.
It really explains our relationship.
Your people.
You're from the Confederacy, and I am not.
What should explain our relationship, as I just said, I had a family member that people whispered about in the back bedroom, and that's who I am now. Except they don't whisper; they text angrily and then leave their phone at my grandmother's house without a passcode on it. And my sister is curious, and that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, that was a fun weekend. You know what they said?
Praise God.
I'm trying to watch Murder, She Wrote.
That's the other thing about history and the news. Trump displays every historical, whatever earmark of Hitler, other dictators. Yep. He uses old playbooks that are racist. Like ripped right out of the
poisoning the blood
handbook.
of America is literally out of the Hitler said this, poisoning the blood of Germany. Immigrant Jews are poisoning the blood of Germany. And can we talk about the Jews thing again?
Oh, God. He just said at what was supposed to be an anti-defamation, anti-Semitism thing, he said that if he loses, it's on the Jews. It'll be the Jews' fault.
If I lose this election, it'll be mostly because of the Jews. He said that speaking to the Jews.
He Semitized at the anti-Semitized.
He Semitized. He Semited. He Semited. Right.
My uncle, who you guys have met on the podcast, who's Jewish, and that's another long story. He's the other one that they whisper about in the back bedroom. That's why he and I get along. He's Jewish, and his wife is Jewish, and they have Jewish kids. And
that's how that works.
So clear on how horrible Trump is for Jewish people. Mm-hmm. He is not confused by the Jedi mind trick of moving the embassy or anything like that. And he actually is so isn't he?
Yes,
because he was in the gym in New York City last week.
Oh, no.
And there is an Orthodox Jew working out that he overhears with his trainer telling him that he supports Trump. And my uncle confronted him about it in the gym.
Yes.
And was like, how can you? And I guess the guy left. It was a whole thing.
Sure. I guess I'm getting yelled at. I'm leaving now. I did.
Dear God.
No, we're not. So I've been thinking about this a lot. So the Jews have been attacked for 1,200 years before Christ. Yeah. So it's a long time. Now, my question is this. If the Jews run everything, how come they keep getting attacked for 4,000 years? If the Jews were in charge, wouldn't they not get attacked? If the Jews were in charge, wouldn't they actually have been able to stop Hitler? If the Jews were in charge, wouldn't none of this have happened? And they would just be running the world? We'd be talking to President Shmuel right now? But it's this bullshit that people need something to point out. And it's immigrants right now. Immigrants, by the way, over 10 years bring $7 trillion into the economy. Immigrants, by the way, every year bring $1 trillion in taxes. Every 10 years. So do me a favor. When you keep talking about immigrants are costing us jobs, if your job is something an immigrant can take, because the Pilgrims came over to America the same reason the immigrants did. It's one of my new jokes in the thing. And then I talk about it. Do you guys know the guy who invented the stint for the heart? Oh, is an immigrant? So all you rednecks that are eating cheese brats and cheese fries, and every time you go about to have a heart attack, and you go, oh, I got to get a stent. You probably shouldn't, because an immigrant invented that. So you don't really need to do that. You're a communist if you get a stent. And by the way, then you get an artificial heart, also invented by an immigrant. Did you know the birth control pill was invented by a Mexican immigrant? He made the weekend.
I just feel like some parts of this show, because they're new, should maybe be run through standards and practices before.
None of this is bad. I'm saying that
there's a pile of cut tape right here.
Just behind me, there's just a big thing of edits.
The thing that people love about you, though, is that your heart's in the right place. It always is. And the whole point of the show that has pissed some rednecks off in the room already is that maybe these immigrants that you are putting down so much have accomplished a lot more than you have, embarrassingly.
Well, I think that's what
and
bothers
you want
them.
people to realize that. But
that's what bothers them, is that they look at these people and they come here and they start a business on their own and they bust ass, and they get a crew of other immigrants over here, and they start building wealth. Well, if you were born here and your mommy and daddy told you were fine, you were special, Thomas, and you get a trophy for everything, and you can't get your shit together because of the drinking and because you
don't have that hardworking
because you also spent $13,000 on a lift kit for your Silverado, and you can't figure out how to pay that off, so they repoed it, and you watch some dude with a truck from 35 years ago and a lawnmower hanging on the back making more money than you.
And you are left to think, oh, they must be like,
they're cheating
the system.
No, they're just busting their fucking asses.
Yes.
They just had at Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania, some swim team athletes, I guess at a party that they were having, one of the athletes used a box cutter and etched the N-word on one of the other guys' chests.
One of the white guys?
No. And now that guy has just been expelled. It's like,
that's all he got?
But again, there's no racism. We're not racist. We just want we want a wall and stricter border laws. And it's like, I was told there's no racism by one of my Republican family members.
Okay. So
isn't it funny how racists always point out there's no racism? It's always racist to do it.
Yes.
Yes. So how do you, if with all this going on, poisoning the blood of America, all the shit he said about our soldiers, all the shit he said about immigrants, which we're in a country of immigrants, by the way, immigrants aren't a problem. Do you know that? Crime is dropping. Crime is down.
Do you know what? Today, as I was leaving our neighborhood, because when my dad was here, as I was driving around our neighborhood, I would go, well, there's another working immigrant there, because we have on the street, even right here, I told you guys about the cocos y frutas guy. And they're out, so they have to go downtown in the dark in the morning to get that fruit.
Right.
And then cut it up, peel it,
work
whatever.
their ass off.
Get the cart, clean the cart, drive back across town and be up and running. You know, it's, you don't see it. I was leaving our neighborhood today and there was, I'm guessing she was a housekeeper or something, because a lot of times they'll go catch the bus at the end of the road.
Right. And they walk.
She had a little boy holding his hand with a big bag over her arm, holding his hand, a huge bag on her left hand, and a giant bag balanced on her head while she walked down Tampa. And I just thought, this is what I'm talking about.
Because, and I'm going to be clear, I don't think immigrants just do those jobs. Doctors,
no,
we have people come up.
That's the point of your show. But I'm talking about brand new immigrants that come here.
Right.
I told my dad, our California would fall. The entire
Georgia
food
wouldn't eat.
Structure of the United States would fall.
Yeah, the country doesn't eat.
And it's Doug Stanhope did it 15 years ago.
Yep.
About immigrants taking your job. It's such an old, tired bullshit trope.
There's a comic from Nashville that I worked with years ago, and I forget it. He stopped doing stand-up. I think I've told this bit before. He did the funniest bit about it. He goes, because he talked like this. He's kind of like this. He goes, I got to be honest with you, man. He goes, I'll take a dude that jumped on a piece of bubble wrap and floated 340 miles across the ocean to land on the shores of Miami. Then he started a business, started making smoothies for people and selling oranges on the corner. I'll take that guy over some dumbass redneck who just bought a $15,000 lift kit for his truck, and he does this whole thing. Goes, I'll work with the other dude. That guy's a pain in my ass, and he ain't allowed at my house. So it was just interesting how.
Yeah, you know what you see a lot of here on those street corners when you get off our exit. What do people that look like me and you? What are they doing?
Begging for money on the corner.
And
they're not working, and they could be working.
Laying in the street.
Yes.
They look more like me.
Called yeah, exactly. He just called the cops because a guy was so messed out.
There was a guy on Burbank Boulevard in the middle of the street in the turning lane, board shorts, Crocs, doing karate in the middle of the street, punching at nothing,
and get mad at you if you like say, "Hey, can you? I'm trying to drive through the red lights."
I just think in general, it's very dangerous to generalize any group of people.
Right, but I'm just saying. I agree with that, but I'm talking specifically. I'm not generalizing. I'm talking about
you, idiot. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Donald Trump, and now
you just called me an idiot.
What has become? I'm generalizing you as an idiot right now.
No, she's very specifically calling me.
Is that it's the problem I see a lot too with some of those organizations like Judicial Watch is that they promote the exception as the rule.
Yes.
And so, yes, if you get in a political discussion with them, then they can say, yes, there's a swimmer, it was a trans woman who was a man, became a woman, and is now a swimmer and is beating women in the swim team against other women.
And the national.
So he has that one. Yes.
That
So
one example.
And guess what the National Swim Association did to NCAA for the NCAA? They banned if you had to actually compete as you were born.
I'm just tired of that. It's not, the exception does not prove the rule. I can find you and I could come up with a story from just about anything to say you're wrong.
Well, if we're going to say that, though, why don't we just go then all white people chop off heads and put them in the freezer? Dahmer, that's what Dahmer did, but that's the exception to the rule. And that's what I say is you don't see that with immigrants. You see, they keep bringing up that one guy that raped that woman. Yeah, we agree. It's fucked up, and I hope he does. I hope he goes to death penalty, honestly. But same with Dahmer. Dahmer saying like all white people are Dahmer then. And it's not the case. And if we have more immigrants than we're supposed to have, but crime is dropping, it's obviously not immigrants, right? Doesn't that just point to the 1 + 1 equals it's not an immigrant's fault?
Yeah, but they don't because it's code for racism. They don't really care because Melania is an immigrant.
Trump's mom
who came in here and cheated through immigration. Yeah, she did exactly. And they're projecting again.
Only ever married immigrants.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yep.
I mean, I don't understand.
And he buries them on his golf course.
Was the middle one?
That's another thing.
What was the middle one's name?
Ivana.
No, that was first. Ivana was first.
Oh, he married the other girl. She was an immigrant.
No, he skipped. Sorry, he
skipped one. Yeah, Tiffany's mom.
Yes.
Boy, I have never seen a weirder. Man, you got to always check people for basic shit. What kind of person are you? And you guys that back this guy, I keep thinking, I keep hearing. So I listed on Threads, I listed pretty much what I did in the Armageddon update. I listed about 100 things, more than 100 things that he'd done over the last 4 years that were literally, if it was a Democrat, are just it's over.
Yeah.
And they keep standing for it. They keep going for it. And then I listed what Kamala has done, and there is no scandal. The biggest scandal, Trump says, she lied about working at McDonald's.
What is that about?
I'm going to see if she worked at McDonald's.
I'm like, but also
because she did say that. Is that what you got?
What we're talking about?
Seriously, and also, who gives a fuck?
And though, here's the thing: watch Katie Tur, watch all of these news people, Fox, and they're still saying. So that's what he's getting up and saying. Either he's talking about Springfield Haitian immigrants eating cats, dogs, and also the ducks and geese because the pond is empty. And Kamala didn't work at McDonald's.
Nothing at all.
And he goes on and on about the hot fry that. And they're still saying, but she needs to tell us where she is on issues. She needs to give us her plan. And I'm thinking, I've heard her say her plan at the debate.
Yep.
I hear her say it every time she does an interview. I know she wants to give first-time home buyers a $25,000 tax credit. Yep. I know a lot of things about her plan.
If you want to start a new business, you get a $50,000 tax over. So she's basically saying, I'm going to make it so everybody can start their own business. I'm going to make it so housing is affordable. I'm going to build 3 million new homes so people can afford homes. Because if you increase the inventory, then
I'm going to codify Roe.
I'm going to codify Roe.
I'm going to do away with the filibuster.
So she's giving you her plan every day, and then Katie Tur keeps going. She needs to be a little clearer. Donald Trump talked about batteries and sharks.
Seriously, what the fuck?
Exactly. Man, is it ratings?
False equivalency.
It's a false equivalency, but what is it? Is it?
We can only surmise.
We got to stop figuring out. We just got to tell these people, hey, if you want to vote for the guy that had said on day one, I'm going to be a dictator. If you want to vote for the guy who wants to fuck his daughter, go ahead. If you want to vote for the guy who actually was sued by a girl that said he raped her when he was 13 at Epstein's house, if you want to fuck out whose best friend was the biggest pedophile we've had in American history, and
so
yet
Puff Daddy was a great guy.
He's got pictures of him. Yikes! I'm mad because
so a lot of news outlets are covering this now because Aaron Rupar even said that ranting about McDonald's has become a daily thing at every rally, every interview. He just did a rally where he was in North Carolina where they said the platform was going to be on manufacturing and job creation. He never really got into that, but this is what I heard today. She never worked at McDonald's. It was a fake story. It was a fake story. The press now refuses to write it because it's so, this is a simple one. She said she worked at McDonald's and she didn't. It was a lie. She never worked at McDonald's over the hot French fries. And then he said, he's going to go to McDonald's in 2 weeks. It's always 2 weeks with him. And I'm going to work the French fries. I will have worked longer and harder at McDonald's than she did if I do that for even half an hour. And so NBC is saying it's unclear why he seems to think that it's not true, that she did work during college at McDonald's.
There's actually pictures of her in the McDonald's outfit.
But this is all he's talking about now.
But she did.
But Kamala Harris needs to tell us what her plan is. He's already been president for 4 years and we still don't know his plan.
Instead, their argument is she never dropped apple pies into the fryer. What? Like, what are you talking? So she did work at McDonald's. She knows she did.
Trump wrote on True Social right before he did that appearance, she should take down and disavow all of her statements that she worked for McDonald's, despite the fact that she does appear to have worked at McDonald's.
Where's Ronald?
I worked
at
McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's too, by the way.
Can't McDonald's come out and vouch for it with the
2
records?
days earlier at another rally in North Carolina, he complained that Oprah interviewed Harris but didn't ask her about the McDonald's. He held a press conference a week before that in California where he talked about Kamala and McDonald's. Then he went to Vegas a few hours later and complained about Kamala and McDonald's more, then went online that night and all caps, never worked at McDonald's. Total lie. Lamestream media refuses, MEDEA, refuses to report this fact. So that's all he's obsessed with.
Let's do something we always do. Can you look it up? Did she work at McDonald's? Can you look it up?
Yeah, so that's what I was looking at. Everyone is saying that I'm sure job records from McDonald's from 30 years ago are probably hard to pull, but it says by all appearances, it looks like she worked at McDonald's.
She knows she worked at McDonald's. But by the way, you can't forget it. I worked there. I smelled like fries for like 2 years after I quit.
Yes.
After I'd left, I had to work at a gas station and smell like gas to get rid of the McDonald's smell on my body. I worked at Pizza Hut. I worked at Lou Goreham's fucking station to get rid of the McDonald's smell. I was just like, give me some gas on me. Oh God. I no longer smell like fries that never rot.
And there's no paperwork really back in the 70s or 80s, right? They would just be like,
there was no computers. There was no computers. Yeah.
I don't know how.
If you spelled your name right on the thing, they were like, "You're hired here at McDonald's." I was a grill guy. 18 max. My record 18 max 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
Oh, good.
But where do you go from there? But where do you go from there? I was done. You win Olympic gold. What do you do?
Don't eat McDonald's. Support your health with AG1, something that I use every damn day.
Good transition. Opposite transition. Nice.
Yeah, I did the opposite.
Do not go to McDonald's. For God's sake, take AG1.
Or if you do, balance it with AG1.
Yeah.
I do feel like that sometimes, like when we're on the road or when I'm with my sister eating pure crap, I'm always like in the morning, like, all right, well, I'm going to wipe all that out. With this one scoop of AG1 and a drop of D3K2,
AG1,
I'm good.
The bad food decision
Where's
eraser.
The champagne?
Squeaky. What happened at AG1? We're taking that off.
I imagine that squeegeeing my colon. Basically, you do this scoop and put it in some water or throw it in a smoothie. But you can have it in water because it tastes good. And you get your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, adaptogens, and more. Now I've now been on AG1 for 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Yep.
I have stopped doing it first thing in the morning usually, and I do it right before I work out. And like yesterday, I was tired because we just came off the road and I needed to work out, but I really didn't feel like it. And I thought, I'll have my AG1. And I did, and I felt better.
Yep.
About half an hour later, I was like, okay. And I got in the gym and did a leg workout. And so for me, also, it helps with gut support. They've done a lot of studies that you can go read about on their website. Supports digestion, reduces bloating, keeps you regular. They did a research study. 80% of the people that did it noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days of using AG1.
Yeah, you did. You stopped farting a lot. It was great.
Well, you didn't. In a research study, 97% of participants felt that their digestion improved after 90 days of drinking it. And also, they just did another one where AG1 was actually shown in the research study to double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut. And that's what breaks down food and alleviates bloating, gives you better digestion.
Touche.
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 I'm just going to leave it on your face.
The other thing I love about it is made with bioavailable ingredients. It's easy for your body to digest because it's just a powder. It's non-GMO, has no added sugar, and it basically you're just filling the nutrient gaps that would be really difficult to fill if you tried to eat all the food.
Impossible.
It's a lot of broccoli and a lot of kale and a lot of
stuff in your teeth.
Weird mushrooms that you would have to climb a mountain in Peru to pick. So that's not true. I made that up. AG1's like, don't say that we get our mushrooms from
the hills of the Himalayas.
You're so bitter. Look at you. That's not how you do it. Your scissors are at a 45-degree angle. You don't cut anything at a 45-degree angle.
You were like just Spock. What did with you?
Oh, here's another thing that he does. Now do that while you say poop. What? So say that. Say.
Speaking of gut health,
poop.
There's a scoop in your poop.
What is it? What does he say? Poop.
You guys, would you finish the commercial for God's sakes?
Start with AG1. You're going to notice a difference for yourself, like we definitely did after 30 days. They made us do it before we did the ad. Noticed a huge difference. It's a great first step to investing in your health. That's why we partner with them and want to for forever. Try AG1. You'll get a free bottle of vitamin D3K2. You'll also get 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/Titus. That's $48 value for free. If you go to drinkag1.com/Titus, go check that out.
We don't have any successes on the Trump side. I don't understand. We have a guy who, let's just go over the big ones. Let's go over the big ones. Number one, the guy failed the economy. He lost 4 million jobs. He failed on COVID. We need a leader that when some shit goes wrong, that he handles it. I watched Kamala Harris deal with the guys in the Senate, and the way she interviewed and interrogated people, I want her dealing with other world leaders. She's no bullshit. She's a prosecutor. So she can handle the negotiations. She can handle holding people to account for what they've done. We've watched her do it. She was district attorney. She was the attorney general. She was a senator. And then she was vice president. Trump was a fucking game show host. So.
And a failed businessman.
Six times bankrupt.
He lost a casino.
Casinos.
And then was banned from having a casino again because they were.
Do you guys know that?
They were washing money.
I forgot to tell. Do you know that he can't have a casino license in Vegas? The biggest criminals.
I thought it was.
He can't. I don't think he can open
Atlantic City.
But he built Trump Tower in Vegas after Atlantic City failed, and he's got that Trump Tower in Vegas, and they won't give him a casino license.
He also, with Trump University, he's got a history of grifting.
I forgot about Trump. I forgot that on the list.
There's people that have been injured by him.
$25 million he had to settle for that. He had to settle. He had 3,500 lawsuits. Every vendor that he worked with, he refused to pay what they said. He agreed to their price. And then when they asked for their money, he's like, fuck you. And they said, wait, you got to pay me. So they'd sue him and he'd go, well, off you half. And they had to go away. There's people out there whose family businesses went bankrupt because of Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And this motherfucker keeps going. And what I don't understand is he's not held to account. Judge Chutkan yesterday. So Thursday, tomorrow, Smith is about to release
Jack Smith.
Jack Smith is about to release a 180-page brief dealing specifically with what the Supreme Court said about Trump's any presidential immunity, which means, and now the limit is 45 pages. Chutkan approved that 180 because he has to go specifically into why things aren't official acts.
Right.
Now, here's what I don't understand. Everybody has to go to court. If you fuck up and you commit a crime, everybody has to go to court. If you fuck up and do something horrible, everybody has to go to court. This guy didn't just fuck up. This guy didn't. It's not a parking ticket. He didn't shoplift. He actually tried to end democracy. He literally sent a crew to the White House. To the Capitol to kill Nancy Pelosi, to kill Mike Pence. He actually tried to hold on to power. He actually stole top secret documents, then lied about having them, for a year, almost a year. Nara had to actually call the FBI and go, this is some serious shit. Yeah. And so he lied about him, hid him in his bathroom, and then they had to raid his house. Now, I wrote this yesterday. I put something on Threads, and a guy wrote me, he goes, yeah, Biden stole good documents too, but that's okay. I said, Biden had 5. They found 5 documents. And
they found them because his people called to say that we have these, come get these. And yes, please search the rest of his home.
So they found 5 documents that are top secret, turned them over that day. Then they let him go through his house and his business and his offices at a college. There's a college he's got an office at. And they found nothing else. 5.
Whereas
Pence did the same thing. Mike Pence, a Republican, same fucking thing. I've got 3 documents here. Yep. Trump lied.
Then had them move the documents.
Then had paid guys. And that's how we have witnesses. So he and he got 2. I love when they go, yeah, Hunter Biden got $3 million. Trump's family got $2 billion from the Saudis. Do you know how much a billion is? And yet, you guys, I don't know. I'm still undecided. I'm going to have to hear a little more about Kamala before I can make a decision. Really?
A lot of Republican leaders have. Goofball. You've got, a massive amount of people. There were it was 120 current and former Republican leaders in Arizona. Yeah. That came out and endorsed Kamala.
400 today. Also, 400 economists and financial advisors came out for Kamala.
You've got Nobel laureate economists. You've got former admirals and generals.
He said that they said Afghanistan was his fault.
You've got former Trump cabinet members.
Yeah, 40 out of 44 said I would never recommend him again. 40 out of 44.
And he's talking about Kamala working at McDonald's.
Exactly.
Because he knows that 47%, they're just going to vote for him no matter what. And that's the thing that blows my mind.
Those are the dumbest people in the world. You are dumb. This guy, not only did this guy fuck you, you sent him money that he used to pay his legal fees where he's a criminal. Yeah. So you donated to here's how dumb you are. You donated to his campaign. Now, I listen, if the guy had a crazy record, like we shut down China. Yeah. Like if the guy had a record where you're like, oh my God, the economy
did some big things. Yeah.
Wait, the stock market's at 50,000? Yep. Stock market was at 19. He lost 10,000 points in the stock market. Lost it. Yep. Biden just hit another record of 42,000. 42,000.
And that's all Trump tweeted about back in the day when he was president. All caps.
Stock market at its highest. It's not. You lost it. You lost
it. But remember then we used to say, but most people aren't in the stock market. He's got to stop talking about that. And he was like, no, it's an economic indicator, but he didn't use those words together. It's big numbers. That's probably what he said. Pictures. But now that Biden has broken records, it's fake. It's fake. It's falsely inflated.
Because the one thing that financial people, like people that are all about money, they make shit up.
You guys need to call your friends and family and tell them that they need to go look at these specific things. Yeah, by the way, we can link for you, and you can make that phone call with Mint Mobile. I feel like Mint Mobile is like when you find out about a new TV show on Netflix and you want to tell everybody, or Hulu, because I started watching The Bear.
And no one believes it can be that good.
Yeah, and and people are living their lives without this good thing, and you feel like they need to know about this good thing. My niece just started with Mint Mobile. You can get it for $15 a month.
And you're
happy with, in the hell?
You got to talk about this.
Yeah. That's the other thing is like people aren't going to believe it because it's $15 a month. And then,
now, is it exactly the same as what you had before?
You purchase a 3-month plan and you get it for $15 a month. It's no different because they use the cell towers that are already...
Your data plans, everything's the same.
Everything's the same.
And so even your connection, it's same. It works in the same places and breaks down in the same places.
All my downloads come down just as fast.
All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. So they're using that network.
All right. I just don't want to make the phone call. Here's the problem. I've been avoiding doing this because I have to make the phone call to our current company.
We want out.
I'm
Oh,
doing
we
it.
want
I'm
this.
doing
See,
it.
that's a
but
nightmare.
but you can't get out.
yeah.
You can't get out.
Pull me back in.
It's going to be a $600 fee to get out. What the fuck? What are you
I
talking about?
also have been told, my niece said that the customer service with Mint Mobile is awesome
Yeah.
too. Nice, helpful people.
Well, because you'd probably get a call from Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he's so like he's so hands on. He's like, I heard you complaining. What's going on?
But
hey,
Wyatt,
Ray. Oh,
Wyatt's birthday was a couple weeks ago,
Yep.
and his big gift was he for the
Got
first
his
time he
first
got his
phone?
first phone.
14? You wait till
He's 14. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good dad.
Thank you, sir. And we went with Mint Mobile. Got a great package deal. It was like $200, included the phone and a year.
so
of
you
Mint
can
Mo-
do
Mint
that.
service.
You can get the phone through them
You
too.
can buy a phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you buy a phone from them and a
so-
deal, you get like 6 months free. So yeah, it's even better.
Holy shit! All right,
Maybe
today
we should
when
just do
we're
that.
done, I'm going to. I'll go work on it. I'll go. I'll call
Oh
my
yeah, my
company.
niece loves it. She said she actually gets service in places that she wasn't getting it with the phone that she had that she just canceled.
Holy shit!
So, to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Titus. That's mintmobile.com/Titus. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month, which is crazy because our old
I
plan
don't want to hear
is
about it. I don't want.
okay.
I
It's
know.
a
I
lot.
see it on the bank account. I'm like, what? What do we? What am I getting?
Yeah. So mintmobile.com/Titus.
I think I should be getting unreleased movies for what we pay.
Yeah.
That's $45 upfront payment required, which is equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower than 40 gig on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. Just go to Mint Mobile for
40
details.
gigs, not 40 megs. 40 gigs. That's
All
all.
I know
That's
is I have
fast.
enough,
That's
whatever it
fast
is.
as shit.
Yeah, everybody that I know that uses it loves it. My brother wants to switch to it too. Mintmobile.com/Titus. Get on that, Titus.
So let's talk about Kamala and Katie Turner. Let's talk about, again, the news media.
Do you want a couple of things
Yes,
that
yes.
are going on in
Yeah.
the world
Hell
right
yeah,
now?
let's do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Putin has issued a nuclear
Putin.
warning to the West over strikes on Russia from Ukraine. He warned today that Russia could use nuclear weapons if it is struck with conventional missiles that we sent them, and that Moscow would consider any assault on it supported by a nuclear power to be a joint attack and would retaliate.
He mentioned nuclear weapons.
He's been
a couple
doing
weeks
this for
ago.
about 3
He's been
years
kind of-
now. He started, if you remember correctly, when they first went into Ukraine, he said, if anyone gets involved, we may go to nukes. He said that at the
Yes.
beginning. He said it 6 months later. He said it 6 months later. I'm going to point something out. Look, it's a crazy time we're living in right now. We're like, as I always say, and you use this quote, world wars don't start on Thursday. It takes about 3 years to get going. And then with what's going on in Israel, we are in a bad situation. This could all break off.
Putin, they have reserved the right to use nuclear weapons if it or its ally Belarus were the subject of aggression. So this is actually a change to their official nuclear doctrine, because we can trust whatever they put in writing
Wait, but
before.
let me finish what I was going to say. Okay, so this guy's now using that. I want to point out that the motherfucker couldn't get a truck to go through a bog.
I
the
don't know
tire-
that
the
I would
ti-
want to
The tires.
trust this too
Oh,
much,
I'm
though.
sorry. You mean all these oligarchs? So they totally disrespected every other piece of equipment, but for some reason kept their nukes, kept the rust off their nukes.
Yes,
They kept
exactly.
shooting them with WD-40. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I totally.
From
From the early 80s.
and someone who actually has nukes. Yeah, we're not bragging about it. We're going to send nukes. We're like, yeah, well, okay, yeah, go ahead.
That's that alpha. That's that
We
alpha
have
male
shit-
thing.
We have our country has shit that if one of those nukes takes off because they're going to detect that, they're going to detect the steam engine that they're fucking using on it. Do you remember when he put out? He at the beginning of Ukraine, he put out a thing. Putin did this news conference where he put out this computer graphic of a supersonic nuke, but there was no nuke. It was just a video. It was like an animation. So it's horrible for you to say that. And listen, we found out when Russia fell. We found out that they were full of shit. We'd been scared of them for 1 billion years. The Cold War happened, and then we found out they didn't have anything. You cannot have a corrupt system like they have and say that you have great nukes if you can't keep tires on your military trucks. I would say to you that they may have nukes. I'm sure they do. If they don't maintain their trucks, they sure as fuck aren't maintaining their nukes.
Yeah, exactly.
So And the only reason you would actually say we're going to nuke you guys is because you're fucked.
Well, no, it's actually about us granting Ukraine the right to shoot the missiles over the line into that small occupied area.
Here's my question about
He's
that.
responding to that.
What do you think about this? So Russia has basically crossed the country. Russia didn't just stay on their side and defend themselves. They actually went into another country and started leveling cities, right?
Well, because they consider that their country.
Right.
So
but Ukraine, but that's not right.
I just think I find it so hard to imagine that people see this kind of destabilization and threat to our country and want the orange boob to be in charge of anything.
Right.
It's like, no. Can we just get somebody who is
competently, maybe a prosecutor who has been vice president, who's been through all of it already, who actually helped turn the country around? Yes, there
tough.
you go.
Even-tempered, level-headed, smart.
That
doesn't have any kids bothering her.
Isn't kissing Putin's ass.
And doesn't have knee pads on for Putin. Yeah, knee pads for Putin. That's
we also have they're forecasting right now that Helene, she sounds so nice, could be catastrophic category 4 at landfall.
They said it was 400 miles wide. They said it wasn't that yesterday. It wasn't that fast, but it was like massive. So everything they've said about climate change has come true. We're having storms like we've never seen. Every year we have another record storm. Every year we have another record flood. And people going, man, climate change, it's a volcano. So it ain't a volcano. We have fucked the country up. We have fucked the planet up. And we continue to do it. And you want to put the guy back in charge who's going to cut regulations.
Who actually jokes about cutting all the regulations Biden put in place.
And last time he was in office, he put a guy in charge of coal mines, in charge of the environment. A guy who owned 3 coal mines in charge of the environment.
Yep. He cut regulations.
They actually never cease to be a shit show. It's mind-boggling. You guys should be embarrassed to even associate with the Republican Party the way that it is right now. You look at what's happened in the House with McCarthy, 14 rounds of voting, and then the thing with Johnson, and then McCarthy's out. You got Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene yelling out at the State of the Union address. You've now got Mark Robinson.
This guy running for
But that's after Herschel Walker and Dr. Oz.
Herschel Walker, Dr. Oz, like the list, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert.
It's
like this crazy. You guys literally have a clown car of fuck ups. By the way, Lauren Boebert couldn't even jerk the guy off in his hotel room. She jerked him off at the movie.
And she missed a campaign appearance because her things had been thrown into the lake.
Oh,
remember that?
Yes.
So,
By the way, people say, why you libtard? Because I would be fucking embarrassed to be a Republican right now.
Yes.
Right now, I'd be fucking
the House
embarrassed.
has now voted to avert the shutdown. Here's another thing. We're always about to have a shutdown. After Johnson is now turning to Democrats to help him pass the funding bill. So again, he's going to the Democrats for help. It's a shit show.
Well, not only that, but we're talking about immigration, right? She did nothing on immigration, and she keeps saying in speeches, and it's not. I don't know why it's not landing, but we had the strongest immigration bill since Reagan. We had the strongest, and just want to be clear, Reagan gave 11 million immigrants amnesty because he said, and Reagan, there's a great quote I'm using in the news show that Reagan said, if we ever stop letting immigrants in, it would basically end America as we know it.
Reagan said that.
Reagan. That's why I go, what socialist libtard said that? Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you come back to these people, these are the same people that like Huey Long and the guys in the 30s and 20s and 30s that were actually trying to take over America. And if you guys don't see that, what I don't understand is Citizens United fucked us so bad because now they've normalized it. If the corporations run the media, then they get to tell the media what to say. If the media says what the corporation want them to say, then all of a sudden Trump seems normal. All of a sudden, next thing we find ourselves in an authoritarian government where basically it's World War II and the Nazi regime. And we're going to he even said, it's going to be the biggest mass deportation ever. He's going to put camps on the border again. People, we've had this guy before. It was the biggest fuck up in 100 years. We were locked in our homes. He fucked up. He actually killed manufacturing jobs before COVID happened.
Yeah, I was going to say, even if you took away COVID, it was the most stressful 4 years of our lives.
Before COVID, his economy was growing at 2.4%. Biden's economy grew at 2.9%. And this is after he fixed COVID. This is after fixing all the fuck ups. It still grew at 2.9%.
The news has a big part to play in this.
Inflation is at 1% right now.
Yeah.
They are scrambling our fucking brains because they just go every day to day. But it never compounds, like all the fucking horseshit and the crime that he does.
They don't do what we just did in the Armageddon update. We just don't go, hey, this guy's a fuck up.
They just move on to the next thing, next day, move on to the next thing.
He's always been a fuck up, and you guys got to call him on it.
And we just move on like it's nothing.
Well, she's in Pennsylvania today outlining, again, her plan to grow the middle class. That's what she's focusing on as far as her economic plan.
Well, she learned from Biden. Biden's one big thing, and it helped. It showed. If you grow it from the middle out, what ends up happening is everybody gets richer, because what happens is the middle class has more money to spend. If they have more money to spend, they buy stuff from the corporations. Well, the corporations and those people make more money, right? They also have more money to spend, which means they have more money for charity, which also helps the lower price people because we actually help them out. By the way, if the middle class makes more money, we have a bigger tax base. So the government gets more money to help the people that need help. So all of a sudden we have less homeless. People don't fucking understand how economics work. And it's like, if eggs are expensive, okay, all right, I looked it up today because like this is a big thing. People go, foods are so crazy, blah, blah. I looked it up. First of all, inflation has dropped to between 1% and 2% right now. In fact, the Fed just lowered interest rates. Eggs are expensive for one reason: the avian flu. Yes. Whatever's going on, we had another round of the avian flu, and they had to kill all the chickens because they don't want to let these chickens keep giving you diseased eggs. So that's what's going on with eggs right now. It's not Biden. Biden doesn't control prices. And then people go, so here's the thing. So okay. So this is the fucking stupidity of the right now. They're bitching about prices, right? They're bitching. Everything's so high. And then Kamala Harris comes out, we're going to figure out why these companies are gouging people. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out you can't gouge people. We're going to come out, oh my God, you're trying to fix prices. What do you want? Do you want
exactly?
What the fuck do you're a child that wants a cookie and ice cream. What do you want? Cookie or ice cream? Oh, I want them both. You can't fucking have them both. You can't have bitching about prices, and then when someone goes, I'm going to fix prices, go, you can't fix prices.
So overall grocery prices have barely moved. It's less than 1% since over a year ago. Since 14 months.
So they're full of shit.
Inflation is cooling across U.S. economy.
It's under 2%.
Egg prices, this is the one thing, have spiked by 28.1% since 12 months ago. Biggest increase of any food. That's so people think that, groceries are expensive. Well, they haven't. That's not happening. They're not going up anymore. So it's because of the highly pathogenic avian influenza known as the bird flu. It's impacted nearly 101 million birds in 48 states since January 2022.
And we can't they can't let that go, because then it transfers to humans, and next thing we know, we have another COVID situation.
So we're only buying eggs from chickens that work out at Equinox and shop at Whole Foods.
Exactly.
Those are the ones.
And if you're stressed out and tired and dehydrated and you're going into cold season, you need OneSkin. This episode brought to you by OneSkin, something that we both use. And actually, I need to do a new order of OS1 Body because it makes a big difference. You use do you know he has a big birthday coming up, ladies and
Please
gentlemen?
stop. Don't do this.
You're so handsome.
Don't do this.
Look at him.
Painful, isn't it?
Look at his skin. Look at his skin.
It's the first one that's painful.
Is it?
It's the first one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you look like you, then I think you're good. I actually went to my dermatologist yesterday, and I was talking about your birthday coming up and just like, can you believe that? And he stops and he goes, wait, what? He goes, Titus? He just saw you too. And I said, yeah. And he goes, you gotta be shitting me. I said, no. And he goes, okay, I never would have guessed that. He said, I would have guessed. He goes, I thought he was a couple years older than I am.
How old is he?
He's about to be 50. He couldn't believe it. And he said it does not age. Our ages don't look like what they used to look like.
No. No, it's so funny to watch it when you see, but we have stuff like OneSkin now, but when you see Wilford Brimley and then you see Cocoon, I thought he was 95 when he did that movie. He was 48.
The Golden Girls were 46,
I heard that.
45, and it's because they didn't have OS1. They were dehydrated AF. They hung out in UV rays and they didn't have anything to help reverse that. OneSkin products, all of them, the eye, the body, the face, it's all powered by the revolutionary OS1 peptide. It's scientifically proven to reduce dysfunctional, they're called senescent cells, like dead skin cells, which is the central source of aging. Scientists have shown that OS1 actually reverses the biological age of skin by several years in this groundbreaking research. So it's actually reversing the damage done to your skin. And
Can confirm.
And it's a great time because we're going into fall and it's drier and you've been out in the sun in the summer. And so I highly recommend, I use all of it, the wash, the body, the eye, and the face. And you will notice instantly that your skin feels smoother. That's instant. And then over time, you will notice people will be like, wow, did you have something done? Even on like my arm skin and
I noticed
stuff.
when I first used it, we first started using it, it made a big difference on my forehead specifically. And then I noticed that everything felt tighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So leveraging their in-house R&D, they were able to measure the efficacy of age reversal molecules in the lab. So instead of just masking something, you're actually treating it and reversing it. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. It addresses skin health at a molecular level, targeting the root causes of aging so your skin will behave, feel, and appear younger. It's time to get started with your new face, eye, and body routine. You can get a discount, get 15% off with promo code Titus at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with promo code Titus. When you get to the end of that, do me a favor, they'll ask you where you heard of the product, and make sure that you put Titus Podcast in there so that they know that we sent you. We only have one body, one skin, and only you can choose to make it better. Age healthy with OneSkin. Look like this.
I want to say something about our ads because people said, I was looking at some comments and someone said, I looked at the review of the podcast and they said ads. And I said, and I thought, I've been thinking about it for 2 days and I thought, I want to point something out to people. And you can ask her, we do not take ads if we don't use them or think they're great. Yeah. We just don't. So we are not giving you advertising. We could charge you guys a subscription for this. We could actually say, all right,
podcast is free, baby.
But we don't so we curate the ads. So we're not actually giving you ads. We're actually giving you a fucking product that's going to change your life.
We have a lot of people, like if I find out that a product in a study that they did for OneSkin reduced wrinkles in 87% of users, we're going to take this and we're going to try it and we're going to tell you about it.
Yeah.
But also we have a lot of people write in and say, I now know that if you guys talk about it, then it's good.
That's our rep. That was what I wanted to do from
Somebody
the beginning.
wrote me an email on my website last week and said, that's why I'm broke, because I buy everything you say to buy because I love it.
Save and get $15 bill.
We're not even doing an ad for this week. Yeah, we'll save it on the but Lumen, this thing with Lumen, I've lost 10 pounds.
Yes.
And I'm like, we're not fucking around. We're not like if we'll advertise something on this thing, she's a mercenary. She would take anything. She would sell bullets.
No.
Yeah.
Not anymore you wouldn't, but in the past.
It would be hard to lie.
Yeah, now, but we don't do that. And so when you guys complain about the ads, I want we're actually trying to help you because we use this stuff and it works. Yeah, we're not whoring something to whore something. Or you can pay a subscription fee. You decide.
Alex Jones. This is good news.
Oh, please tell me. He's been awful quiet
conspiracy lately. That's because his empire, InfoWars, is now being sold for parts to pay off the Sandy Hook family.
Good.
Oh, great.
Good.
Finally,
good news. Hell
justice.
Yeah.
The parent company is called Free Speech Systems, is now officially up for sale following the approval of a Texas bankruptcy judge yesterday.
Do we know what it's
everything from Infowars.com domain? We could buy Infowars and put what we want. That would be cool. All of its social media accounts, its subscriber list, even its production equipment, studio, the whole set. It's all going to be auctioned off piece by piece down to the chair that he sat in to the highest bidder.
Nobody wants that chair.
November 13th. So it's now been handed over to an auction house. And November 13th, you too can own a part of Yeah. And
Why
it's
is-
all going to go to Sandy Hook families to
How-
pay off that settlement.
How is the Trump campaign not jumping on all of these assets? That customer base.
Yeah, really.
is
But they should buy
MAGA.
that subscriber list.
Yes.
Oh, do me a favor. DJT stock. Look it up.
Oh, it's
'Cause I know-
been shit.
I heard because he was supposed to. I guess as of last Wednesday or Thursday, he could have sold it, and he said he wasn't going to. But
$14.
oh shit!
What did it?
It was
It
Like,
was
what
like
happened to
70
dollars?
something.
It started at 66.
I think that's more of an economic indicator of how poorly someone's campaign is.
Wow.
It says that it's rebounding a little bit from record lows. But yesterday it fell to a new low. It went up $1 today. That's why, just as Trump could sell, they sank to their lowest price in years, closed more than
It's only
10% lower yesterday.
Jesus.
He and the other people that have the stakes, they now have the green light to start selling.
I'm a genius.
Try-
You sell.
by the way, so here, this is the best. Look, this is my theory. This is a theory.
85% fall.
This is the best money laundering scam of all time. Let's say you're a foreign government, right? And you're like, I want this guy to be president. How do I give him money? How do I help him? I know. I'm going to buy $35 million of this stock.
Mhm.
Okay, because he owns the biggest piece of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to buy Saudi buys $1 billion of the stock. So then the stock goes down in price. And he sells off in a little bit. They lost money, but they can afford it. And he gets to sell his stock. He said he wasn't going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming up. Trust me. He's going to
I
blow
would
it
bet
up.
you he's going to try and drive the price up.
How? He sucks so bad. I watched him.
Well,
today
he
at a
tells his
speech.
people lies, and then they go and buy it, and that's what he always
But
does.
I'm back to this again. I just gave you a list with the Armageddon update, exactly how fucked up this guy is, and he continues to do
Yep.
it, and you continue
He
to
gets
follow
away
him.
with everything.
He screws you people on a daily basis. And here's the thing. I get it. You don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. I'm going to fucking stick to my guns. He's never gotten better.
It's an
In
embarrassing
8 years.
wrong, though.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. But you get to be right if you just go, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. I'll give her 4 years. If she fucks it up, great. Well, she's outed. If she doesn't, good. You know, Biden turned the economy around, turned the country around, turned COVID around. He turned, inflation. Inflation is 1% now. You fuck everybody. You
At
guys
this point, what the fuck
soft
else do they
landing.
need?
Even the Fed said we're supposed to have a recession. We've been talking about a recession for 2 years.
Yeah, never
The Fed
happened.
said they dropped half a point, 50 basis points in the interest rate. And economists around the country are like, we can't believe this happened. Quote, we've had a soft landing, which means things slowed down. Unemployment rate went up to 4. So it's everything's balancing. They've said for years that the good unemployment rate is between 4 and 5%. That's exactly where we are. This dude with 50 years of experience in government who saw everybody do it, good to bad, did it right. And now we're here. We were in the airport. Airport's packed. The freeways are packed, which means everybody can afford gas. Everybody can afford to travel. It's the economy's kicking ass. And you motherfuckers just still keep talking about like, yeah, I don't know. I'm undecided. I need to hear more about what this black lady. Aha. There you go. Maybe
U.S.
that's
troops
it.
have now been deployed to Cyprus as fears of a larger Middle East war have intensified.
Yeah,
We got a lot going on.
This one scares the shit
Let's
out of
not
me.
put the boob in charge. Okay, guys?
Yeah. With the world as shaky as it is right now, spikes out everywhere. Do you really want the bull in the china shop, or do you someone's going to stop and go, hold on, let's figure this out?
I really hope. I mean, my faith in humanity has been just fucking shook. I really hope that
My trust in humanity.
Yes. These examples that these undecided people are a small fraction. They're just finding these outliers of people. I really am hoping that the majority of people in this country have reason.
Yeah.
That's my hope. So
History proves you wrong.
That's true. I know.
Thousands of
A lot of
years,
things
2016 to
prove you
2020.
wrong.
thousands of years of history and humanity prove you wrong. And the problem is like, I'm not an educated man. I'm really not. Anything I've learned,
You are now, though.
but I've had to because of stand up. I've chosen a path of
Yeah,
stand up.
that's the dumbest thing you say.
What? No. I mean, in a sense of if you looked at
Ironically, it makes you sound stupid.
if you looked at my background on paper, I'm an uneducated man. I have spent the time to learn. I've spent the time to learn economics on my own. I've spent the time to learn politics on my own. I research facts like crazy. And
you build a pop-up
if
book.
I can do, I built a pop-up
really.
book. If I can do it, you can do it. And you people that grab onto one thing, like the people that commented on my post and threads, and they were like, yeah, but Biden's daughter took a shower with him when she was 13. And I go, first of all, she sued actually people that said that and went to court on it and it's been settled. So that didn't happen. Also, she worked on his campaign. So
yeah, they hear one thing and then they just hold on to that. And
Pizzagate. There was no basement.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are
assholes.
just
There was no
embarrassing.
basement in that pizza parlor where they were having pedophiles. But I will tell you this: we have a guy that you like. He's actually been sued by a girl who said he raped him when he was 13. He hung out with the biggest pedophile ever. Mm-hmm. So all you have to do is stop and go, I was wrong. I made a mistake. And then you get to be right.
Yeah.
Now, listen, you may not want Kamala Harris, but I want the person who's actually going to stand for America, who actually backs the Constitution and doesn't want to destroy it, who actually backs the rule of law and doesn't fucking avoid it when they commit crimes. I want somebody who's actually going to help the country. And we've seen Biden do that. So I'm just going to say this. Fucking wake up and don't be undecided anymore. You're morons if you're undecided at this point.
If you want to see us live, not do that.
Now come see me do comedy.
Billings, Montana, Pub Station, Friday night, Saturday night. We're going to be in Bozeman at the Wilma Theater. The Ellen Theater. We also have a lot of other dates coming up. We're going to have some local dates. Brea, one night only. That's going to be October 17th. We're going to be in Burbank at Flappers on the 18th. We have Sacramento and Fresno and Sunnyvale coming up. We got a bunch of stuff.
Guys, all new show. I promise you, if this guy doesn't get elected again, I'll stop. I'll just be like, we'll move on to other subjects, daily subjects on the news. We'll move on to stopping the wars. But right now, we've got to stop this guy. He has said it. It's not like we're making it up. He has flat out said what he's going to do.
Well, we're really going to have to cut what we say because Project 2025 will be enacted.
Yes.
And we're going to
no. If he gets elected, we're done.
Yeah. Libtards are out.
Yeah.
Democracy's gone.
And now, let's see, 4 years ago today, on this day, with Ken Highland.
Let's talk about Trump. Judge finds Trump liable for fraudulent property values.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
This is, what was this?
This is September 27th, 2019. A New York judge ruled Tuesday that former President Donald Trump and his 2 adult sons and 2 other Trump Organization execs fraudulently inflated the value of Trump properties to get better loan and insurance terms.
And that up until the taxes came due. And then they said they were worth nothing.
Yes.
Yep. Now, 2 years into the Biden-Harris administration, President Biden visits striking auto workers on the picket line.
Oh,
the first president to ever do this.
So wait. So you're saying the Democrats back up the normal people, and
I am,
and
yes.
the Republicans seem to be running a total grift all the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Con men.
Let me be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a contrast.
It's depressing though. Because I keep saying every day, and I don't want to get you going again, but
I'm going to be on your side on this.
How are we here again? That's the thing that blows my mind. How could we possibly be here again?
Go on.
You don't get to have, rose-colored glasses about what he might do because he's already been president. We already know.
I see that. I don't think that's ever happened before. Has a president basically been like a shitty president?
A loser.
And then
lost.
Another president comes in, does a whole term. And then that shitty president, Andrew Jackson, comes back and actually has a shot?
Make it make sense. What the fuck? Make it make sense.
I will tell you this. Go watch the beginning of the Obama-Romney debate. It is so... It feels like another... You're like, what am I watching? Because they shake hands. How's your wife doing? It's good to see you, blah, blah, blah. It's like...
Alternate universe.
We used to be that.
Yes.
Even if you watch Obama and McCain.
Yep.
It's like...
Defending each other.
Like, we used to all be Americans. And now this guy has created such a division in us that I see where it's going, and it scares the shit out of me. And we're just trying to do our part to make America great again.
That was a Reagan thing, and that was a Hitler
have the
thing.
pin.
It was a Reagan thing.
That
It was a Hitler
I
thing.
found the button in my mom's storage unit. I have it at home. It's really cool. It's a real vintage looking red and white and blue button with Reagan that says "Make America Great Again."
Oh, no shit. Oh,
So
you
the
got it.
hack.
I'll send you a picture of it.
So the hack actually stole even the thing he's doing now. He stole it from Reagan.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh God, guys, do me a favor. Think about it. Do your research. Please look it up. Everything I said today, look it up. Look it up. I am not making any of it up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. There will be a day, and then no matter what side of the aisle you're on, I got your back. Scream sanity to the morons. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There could be the moon.